Hello and welcome to Curious Herbalism, or now Explorations in Herbalism. I'm your host, Kenya T. Coviak, and I want to welcome you to my garden. I see that I have a little pollen on my face. You have to excuse me. I just saw this. I was busy actually gathering pollen for our bees, just because I want to see if I can make a pollen cake. I just want to see if I can make it. I just want to see. Just want to see. If you want to see my beehive, can you see it right there? That's our beehive, believe it or not. And right next to it, you can see the cloth we used when we were processing to get our honey going. My husband gathered actually over 6 half gallons of honey altogether this season so far. Those bees are very prolific. But you didn't come here to hear about that. You came to hear about curious herbalism. Well, this is part of that. This is part of what we're doing today. And I wanted to show you something very interesting. I wanted to show you my thyme. So you're going to walk with me today. We're walking together past the bees. And walking all through the creeping Charlie. It's right next to the winter savory in back. Can you see it? That plant in the center and this plant right here, something called lamb's quarter. It's a volunteer thyme. Oh dear. Are we back? Mixed with thyme is an excellent combination for food and for other things as well. Because as we know, plants have more than one purpose. I want to get a good shot with the beehive behind me. Okay, so let's talk about thyme. Creeping time, there's greater times, there's one common thing. Time takes time. What I'm saying is, time takes a long time to get established. So, yeah, you can buy it at the garden shop and have it growing, and it will grow. But if you want it to thrive, you have to be patient. Don't over harvest it. But let's talk about a few other things having to do with time other than us just eating them or eating time. And I'm hoping that we are reading. I heard there was a connection issue. So if you're with me, stay with me. Now, when it comes to time, one of the wonderful things about time is that traditionally it's been used to help purify an area to a smaller degree. Time is one of those things you keep around, and most of the time you do use it for cooking, but there's other uses for purifying an area. You can burn a little thyme just to get the vibration up a little bit, but thyme also has a role in your home in a jar, because if you keep thyme in a jar in your home, you actually will keep the home in good luck. Now we have to look at why that would be. Why would holding thyme give us good luck? Well, a lot of times we look at the doctrine of signatures to figure out the usage of something, but other times we look at how they are used, medically or in a remedy, and how it's been used for other uses to know its magical quality. And I'm just going to tell you, one of the great things about time is that it has a quality for preservation. Time takes time, but time buys you time. because thyme can help you with antibacterial blends if you're making them for medicinal reasons. Thyme also has a good application when you're making magical inks or any other kind of ink because you add thyme to the mix when you make your ink. And yes, I know that not everybody makes inks the whole same way, but putting thyme in there will preserve it for a while longer. And it also discourages it? That's not a word. It discourages the proliferation of mold in your ink. Now, understand you're not putting a lot of time in that ink bottle, especially if you only have a little bottle, because it will absorb the ink. You don't want that. No. The best thing to do is to actually get some extract if you have some time, or if you have time for time, or you can put just the tiniest bit of it in there. I always tell people a little bit is good, a lot of it, maybe not so much. Another thing thyme is really good for. I have all this pollen all over me. I don't believe this. Just so you know, it's Rose of Sharon that I was getting the majority of the pollen. Oh my goodness. Another thing thyme gives you is courage. And you have to have a lot of courage if you're working with so many bees here. They are my husband's bees. I am just the beekeeper's wife. I say that for a reason because bees acknowledge, relationships. They can recognize you. So you have to be kind of brave when you are venturing forth. Time can help you with that. You can put a little thyme in your pocket or in your magical pouch if you need some energetic courage. If you just need a little bit of fortitude, maybe make some thyme extract or some infused thyme oil and maybe anoint your feet if you're going into a situation where you're a little afraid, a little bit of scared energy rolling through, you want to knock that down. Thyme is your plant. What else can you use thyme for, though, magically? Well, I'm going to tell you, we have a little time to do that. Thyme is good for getting rid of nightmares. So, what we want to look at, getting rid of nightmares. Does it banish them? No, not so much. More along the line of dissuading the nightmare or helping it not to form. Because there's very different functions when we talk about nightmares and dream states. And the eyes of Morpheus. Not the Matrix Morpheus, the other one. But we have to be careful because we don't want to give people false security. And if someone is sending you nightmares, you could add thyme to your blend. Let's talk about that for a moment. In all things, we have to make sure we practice ethics. I have found, and I don't know if it's universal, but in many cases, right now, I don't know if it was because of the world situation, but we've forgotten how to talk with each other and how to interact with each other. And that has led to us not remembering how to treat each other, and that leads us to ethics. Ethics in herbalism, ethics in the way we treat each other. It's not ethical to attack people through dream magic. It's just not. So I just wanted to make sure I said that out loud. So there's no confusion on how I feel about it. So if you're using a dream blend to discourage magical attacks in your dream state, I definitely would look into adding thyme to your working. Now, I wouldn't use it by itself, obviously, because it's not that strong. It's strong, but it's not strong enough for a direct attack. And of course, you might want to add some agrimony or something like that. But this is not that deep of a class. We're going to keep it strictly to time today. Oh, my nails are so white. We're going to keep it strictly to time today. Another thing you can use thyme for that's really fun is as a good luck charm. Well, again, I'm wondering if that has to do with its preservative properties. I mean, self preservation is probably the luckiest thing I could ask for. But as a magical gardener or someone who likes magical plants, I'm not the boss of you. I can't tell you what to do, and I don't judge you. But as a magical gardener, I would recommend putting thyme around the edges of your garden for not only courage but protection on your property. Not only is it good because you can also burn it to get rid of certain annoying little birds and, well, not birds, but little bugs. Actually, birds don't like smoke either. But it's also good for an antibacterial. So if you get a cut in the garden, you might blend it with something else like plantain and comfrey and rosemary together into a salve and or make a poultice and use that to help with your healing until you get indoors. I mean, it's just a thought. I can't tell you what to do, obviously. You don't have to listen to me. Listen to me. Get the time. Okay. But oh, and another thing, you're not going to have this phone much legendary close-ups because unfortunately it's time to stop because I want. I think I'm connecting with you. I think it's not habit of making your or vinegars or oxymels is that's a whole other issue. It's a whole other world. Once you get up to oxymel, you're really getting into it. But if you make your own tinctures, I always recommend that before the season's out, make yourself a thyme tincture. Not just because of the food properties and not just because of the home remedy properties, but seriously, make it because you don't know what's going to go down during the wintertime. You don't know what kind of nasties and beasties could be appearing in your dreams. You don't know what you might run into out in these magical streets or in these magical woods that would require you to have a little bit more courage. We are now in August, and because we're in August, that means that we are less than 3 months away from Halloween. And for those of us who are not mundane, we're almost at Samhain. I know we have a couple of more holidays to go through. I don't care. It's all about Samhain for me. Samhain and Beltane. But you might need a little bit more courage during Samhain, especially this year, because there's a lot of things coming down the pipe. And if you've been paying attention, you know this is the time to get ready. I would also recommend a couple of other usages for your time because I don't want to run out of time before I get to them. Number one, add them to your incenses, especially when you're doing a ritual that has to do with very heavy work. Another thing I would recommend with your time is to add them to your border ward because it just gives that boost of energy that you may need. I do caution you though, don't become overly reliant on it. It takes too long. Time takes time. It takes too long to grow back to recover once you begin to cut at it too much. Remember, the rule of thumb is don't take more than 25% of your living plant material. And even then, I want to get into a little bit more of that math. I know math in the real world. Thank your math teacher. There's math in the real world. One of the things I want to say is when we're doing that, don't take 25 more than 25% rule of time, especially. I am not referring more of taking more than 25% from the ground up. When you're taking time, when you're harvesting it, it's not just 25% of it overall. You should take not more than 25% of it vertically or down the stem. That means from the tip of the stem to the part that is just above the ground. Do not measure that whole thing and cut it off to the ground, especially the second year. Cut only the very tip, 25% of that stem, starting at the woody area of the stem up to the tip. That's how you measure. Knowing how little you can cut, you'll realize why I'm saying don't go overboard with it. It takes a very great deal of energy for that plant to regenerate because it grows slowly. So remember, time takes time. Make it part of it. Make a part of it worth your time. Thank you for joining me here on Curious Herbalism. I hope you were able to get most of the episode. I really do. Oh, oh my goodness, I almost forgot. Make sure to tune in 2 weeks and we'll be back. Same herb time, same herb channel, always on the first and third Wednesdays. I look forward to these times with you. Hey, I said time again. If you have any questions and you need to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with me at, I want to say, a New Moon 22, located in New Baltimore, Michigan, or through my website, MichiganWitchesBallAndBazaar.com. See you later. Stay green.